And we're back. Back. How's it going, buddy?
Just another day.
Another day? Yeah.
I'm finally getting over this 5-day fever dream cold I've had.
Damn. Yeah, I fucking
You just got out of the hospital.
I was in the hospital.
Yeah.
I got to only eat liquids for Thanksgiving, so that was so fucking lovely. Everybody loves liquid. Like the conversation of putting a bunch of food in a blender, like turkey and dressing and stuffing in a blender and pureeing it. That conversation was had, and it got pretty serious, if I do say so myself. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was No Health November for both of us.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Oh, Chuck. Yeah.
No shit, November.
Yeah, because I couldn't shit.
Yeah.
Today's episode is brought to you by Piss in a Bottle. If you like your piss in a bottle like I do,
Delicious.
use promo code Chenry at pissinabottle.com.
Delicious.
Drip, drip, drip. Bump my mic. So, Sean, what'd you bring us today? It is even number episode, if I do recall, 28 episode, season 2, episode 8.
It is even.
Oh, damn, it's 2 episodes away from Darwin.
Yeah. Hang on. Wait, are we in like a low hum? I think it's a truck driver.
Did you unplug my cable? Just unplug my cable.
Yeah. Hang on one sec. Technical difficulties.
Yeah.
No, I think it was actually a truck driver.
No. It's that Jake break, work's being done when you fucking hear Jake break, boy.
But yeah, today, since we live here, our studio is located in Tennessee.
We're not going to tell you the town.
We're not going to tell you the town. Small towns.
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there. If you go towards the east of the state, it's very, very, very pretty.
Yeah, you go. Let's just say we're centralized. And of course, east of us, we have the Appalachian Mountains.
Great Smoky Mountains?
Yeah, not to be confused with Appalachian. We're going to know you're not from here if you say Appalachian.
It's Appalachia.
Yeah, it's like
Appalachian.
The easiest way I can explain to what Tennesseans call foreigners or out-of-staters,
Knoxville, Gordonsville.
It's like if somebody threw an apple at you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's pretty much the easiest way I can explain it. Like if somebody,
Appalachia.
If somebody threw an apple at you.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much.
Okay. I never heard it described like that. But then again, I'm also from Tennessee, so Appalachia is something.
Now the Appalachians go all the way up. I mean, it's part of before the great, I guess, continental divide or slide or whatever you want to call it. It was actually.
You don't know about Pangea? Little Dicky reference.
But when it was all one huge chunk of earth, these mountain ranges they're like the oldest on the planet. They're actually part of the Scottish Highlands. So I mean, like if you put back together how it used to be, before the earth.
It's like mountains are formed by tectonic plates pushing together. So before even Pangea, when things were split continents, these continents come together, North America and the British Isle or whatever, that I don't fucking know, the UK, I don't really understand all of that, and then Scandinavia and all of that up there, all of that shit pushed together at the forming of Pangea. Those mountains were formed, and that includes Appalachia.
Yeah, these mountains are like ancient. I mean, they're like the oldest mountains pretty much planet Earth. A lot of people don't know that. Like I said, they're part of the Scottish Highlands and stuff too.
And there's still just thick forest, and that's never, that still live out there with no electricity and shit in log cabins. Like that's how deep fucking.
Oh yeah,
that place gets.
That's what we call up in them hollers.
Yeah, dude.
Or up in them hills.
Once 2 guys climbed old Rocky Top looking for a moonshine still.
Yeah,
they never come down from old Rocky Top. I reckon they never will.
From people take it from us, actual, Tennesseans here.
I don't even consider myself Appalachian.
We don't even like to go. I may go to Gatlinburg. That's about as close to the Smokies I like to get.
Yeah, Tail of the Dragon. That kind of shit.
Yeah, Tail of the Dragon. Nice and pretty, it's scenic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you don't really want to get off into the woods like out there.
Beautiful out there, especially in the fall. But yeah, you do not want to get out.
Not because, well, a lot of it's uncharted. There's lots of missing people, which I'm fixing to get into. A lot of fucking cryptids.
Because it runs right along the 35th parallel.
Yeah, or the 37th. Yeah.
30, whatever. Yeah.
Right there along the 37th parallel. It's right
36,
there.
37, 38. It runs through all them bitches.
Yeah, it's right there in the nest of it.
It's vertical.
There's a lot of UFO sightings in there.
Yep.
A lot of Bigfoot sightings in there.
Oak Ridge is located in
Yeah,
Appalachia.
Oak Ridge. Yeah, which is a whole different ballgame.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to Google that.
Manhattan Project.
You can do your own separate deep dive on Oak Ridge.
We may cover it at some point.
Yeah.
Because it fascinates me.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
The worst kept secret in the United States.
Yeah, in Tennessee. Yeah, so it's a hotbed for a lot of weird, strange, paranormal, EBGB, like high strangeness. Almost as bad, I would say, as the Pine Barrens. And of course, we've discussed the Pine Barrens to the OG.
I'd say worse because of
the OG listeners. Yeah, so it's up there. You know, of some weird things that go on. You got black-eyed children. There's
the blue-skin people. I've read about them. They're from Appalachia.
You got this creature called the Wampus Cat.
No.
Yeah.
If you think about it, there are trees probably in the Great Smoky Mountains that haven't been touched by man in 1,000 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's not to mention the locals there who actually live like off the grid, like I'm talking about no power.
There's people that live there for generations.
That live in the hollers. They call them hollers for a reason. It's because like your closest neighbor may be on the next ridge line, and you literally have to holler like, "Hey, hey, hey." That's how they communicate.
Across.
They literally communicate by hollering. Hence the name, the hollers. Because that's how they would actually have to holler to go talk to their neighbor or something. I mean, and there are people out there that are growing pot. You know, man, they're making moonshine. This is like the place.
Popcorn setting.
Well, popcorn setting.
Last damn run of liquor I'll ever make.
I mean, that's basically how you got Mountain Dew. Tennessee Mountain Dew
is to mix with moonshine.
Was actually moonshine. You know what I mean? Of course, it became a soft drink beverage.
Piss in a bottle.
Piss in a bottle. Ew. But yes, today's topic I'm going to discuss is all the weird ins and outs. Not a deep dive, but just kind of like touching the surface of the weird.
We're going to touch cotton.
Yeah. We're going to kiss and cotton a little bit with the Appalachian Mountains, because these mountains, like I said, are old. They're mysterious, and you'd be surprised. There's a lot of fucking people that go missing there. A lot. Like, out of the ordinary, a lot. It's almost like you get sucked into the woods and the forest eats you.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like people, locals, like I was saying earlier, locals say if you see or hear something, no, you didn't. You kind of like, if you heard something or if you seen something, you just tell yourself, no, I didn't, and turn the frick around.
Look, I've been in deep woods. Like I always call it the rolling hills of East Tennessee. You know, because like as you get out of Nashville and start heading east, things get progressively more hilly until you get into the mountains and cross the mountains.
Yeah.
So, you know, once you hit about Smith County, you get some really tall fucking hills. So I've been out in those hills with nothing around for acres and just like overnight by myself, and it can be very eerie.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like my brother has 1,200 acres in Kentucky.
You hear some weird stuff. Like for real, you hear some weird stuff out there.
Yeah, and it's even just out there.
Or even see weird stuff.
And it's not even really that. It's not like it is here. It's not as hilly. You know, like fucking, or New Concord, Kentucky has a lot of hills. But even that isn't as bad compared to like Smith County and some of the fucking places I've been out there.
Let me see here. Let me pull up my notes. So yeah, the Appalachian Mountains. There's here. I was scrolling through here earlier, so excuse me real quick.
We are unprepared. We like to drag our ass. Yeah. We do this for fun, and most of the time we don't give a fuck. We're just kind of recording a little late today.
Yeah, so I was looking at the statistics on this. According to the FBI, you got roughly 400,000 to 500,000 people go missing every year just in the United States.
So what is that? How many people are
Now,
in the United States?
Localize that down to just the Appalachian Mountain range. It's about 7-8% of that. There's roughly about 40,000 people that go missing.
That's fucking bonkers, bro.
It's like 8% of the yeah.
That's a large percentage.
according-
Well, how far does that mountain range stretch in the United States?
It stretches, goes through Tennessee. I think it starts. I'm trying to remember.
I think it starts in Georgia.
I have to look at a map here. I'll put a map up for everybody to see. But it goes through a couple states.
Yeah.
It's a long stretch of mountains. I know it goes up. I think it goes up through Virginia.
Yeah, I think it goes.
I'm trying to remember.
I think it hits the coast
I know
in
it
like
goes-
West Virginia.
Majority of it's like Tennessee, Kentucky, and like it goes. I think it goes maybe Virginia or the Carolinas. But it's a long chunk of mountain
It might be like South Carolina.
or South Carolina.
I think it goes from like Georgia to South Carolina.
But, yeah.
like diagonally.
Basically the whole area, the region. And this is like recent. This is like recent numbers. But yeah, it's basically the isolation of the geography, because people like to go camping there, which is nice. They got trails, best places to go fishing, but people like fuck around and find out, and they go venturing off thinking they're Mr. Survivalist, and end up
Fucking speaking of Darwin, Jesus.
yeah, and then they end up getting lost. And there's places in the Appalachian Mountains that the rescue people haven't even touched.
Yeah. It's like the Amazon rainforest,
Yeah, but
with a fucking incline.
with like a southern
It's in the
twist.
fucking mountains.
Yeah, it's like the Amazon rainforest, but with a southern twist. Because not only do you got, people live there, but you got like wild people that live there.
Yeah.
Like, like hill people. Like you ever seen the movie Hills?
Yeah.
Hills Have Eyes. Like inbred people, like for real. And
Yeah.
I'm not dogging on Tennessee or the South, but there is people that live like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, the blue people, like I talked
Yeah.
about, that was a product of severe inbreeding, a family in Appalachia, which is,
Yeah.
if you think about it, because there's tribes in the Amazon rainforest that have been untouched by man
Yeah.
for hundreds of years, and they don't have the same inbreeding problem. Like, they still have enough genetic diversity among them to prevent inbreeding.
Yeah.
But in Appalachia, they don't. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's, let's see here. Let me back up.
Sorry, I'm crashing your subject.
No, you're fine, man.
This is just something that has always fascinated me.
Let me read my notes here. Tennessee's Appalachian Belt is a network of highlands, narrow valleys, old homesteads, and thick forest.
Thick. 3 C's.
Yeah. Like thick.
The. I'm gonna put
On the eastern edge of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, America's most visited national park, just like a raised fist into the clouds, is a backcountry threaded by abandoned homesteads, old logging roads, and remote hollows. A few miles beyond the park is the Cherokee National Forest, which continues the corridor of thick, dark timber, steep creeks, and ridge-top meadows. These are places with limited cell phone service. Keep that in mind. No cell phone service. Get fucked. Little traffic after dark, and many miles where a human voice will not carry very far. Isolation is the geography. Okay. You're out in the middle of what we like to call BFE.
Yeah.
Buttfuck Egypt. But it becomes its own force. Fog cutting off sight, ridgelines that fold sounds into themselves, sinkholes, and rivers that swallow evidence and give nothing back. The same features that make the Smokies beautiful also makes them capable of swallowing people. Hidden ravines, sudden storms, swollen creeks.
You'll just be.
Yeah, cliffs whose underbrush mask a fall. So you may just be walking willy-nilly or running because you're panicking trying to get the hell out of the forest and literally slip, fall into a ravine hole, and next thing you know, you're 30 feet underground in a fucking cavern with a broken leg.
And no nothing.
And help ain't gonna help you. Help, help, because now your voice is carrying inside this cavern and it's not carrying up.
And I mean, you're gonna eventually be like, fuck, let's just see if I can
Yeah.
find my way out of this cavern. But by the time you're in there, you're all fucking discombobulated.
Yeah, and when a person vanishes inside the tapestry, everything, folklore, fear, rumor, the occasional monstrous legend, it starts to crowd in your brain, and it explains this gap like, so this is what happens to people out here.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what happens. This is why people disappeared. Okay, now before we go deeper into the stories, here are some hard numbers in that comes with these missing people. Missing person data in the United States is sprawling, and really it's kind of decentralized. Every year, hundreds of thousands of missing persons reports are filed nationwide. You got NAMUS, which is MAMUS, the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System. That's what that stands for. It notes that each year, more than 600,000 people are reported missing in the U.S., while on any given day, the NCIC, the National Crime and Information Center, holds about 90,000 active missing persons records. These numbers reflect the scale of the problem and the fact that many cases, especially those involving adults, who left voluntarily or who found quickly, never become long-term mysteries. At a state of regional level, the TBI, or the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, maintains records and public lists of active missing person alerts and missing children. But the TBI's public site does not present a neat year-to-year breakdown for every county's backwood cases. Volunteer groups end up taking all these documentations for long-term and unsolved cases. This means precise year-by-year tallies for Tennessee Appalachian Mountain alone, as distinct from the whole state, are difficult to standardize. Still, the national scale, active alerts logged into the TBI, and the larger number of unresolved long-term cases in the Smokies together make it clear that disappearances here are both numerically significant and mystifying, because not everything is logged. You got a lot of backwood, like I was saying,
Yeah.
You're out there in them sticks where they're like, we don't like your kind around here. I mean, they're not really up to record.
I mean, you're somebody's dinner.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
We ain't gonna let this meat go to waste.
So,
How would you human being?
when people talk about vanishings in the Tennessee Appalachians, certain names echo again and again. Cases where search resources were massive and the absence stubborn. Here are several cases here I'm going to touch on. You got Dennis Martin. Let me get a drink of water real quick.
The man is parched.
Parched.
See?
Parched, because, excuse me, folks. Like I said, I'm coming off of a cold. But, that's what the channel means to me. I don't care if I'm sick or not. Damn it, we're gonna do a podcast.
Yeah, dude. This time last
That's
week,
how
I was,
dedicated we are
just
to you
out of the
guys.
hospital. We gonna fucking do this.
We gonna do this shit.
Look, if I'm willing to cut you,
That's what I'm saying. Now, let me get back to it here. Okay. Dennis Martin, June 14th, 1969.
nice.
Spencefield, Great Smoky Mountains National Park. On Father's Day weekend, which that would fucking suck.
Not Father's Day.
Being a father myself, that would suck.
Father's Day is the worst fucking holiday anyway.
June 14th, 1969. 6-year-old Dennis Lloyd Martin vanished from a campsite in the park's backcountry near Spencefield. The search that followed was enormous. Roughly 1,400 people scoured the area, tracking dogs, horses, planes, volunteer searches, the whole shebang. They're out there looking for this kid, 6 years old. Okay, search efforts covered more than 56 square miles and remain along the most extensive in the park's history. Despite months of searching, no trace of Dennis was found. The case is a ghost story lived by the park. Friends, family, and later investigators have suggested that everything from wolf or bear attack to abduction to the old shadows of wilderness accidents. But none of it explains a child simply disappearing from his family's sight. National Park Service case files a long-form accounts document the search's scale and its failure to produce closure. Why does Dennis's disappearance still send a chill? Partly because of the blameliness of the scene. Family camping, it's Father's Day weekend, kids are out playing, and partly because of the wilderness here is deceptive. The same meadow that looks safely open at noon becomes a labyrinth of hollows and sinkholes, like I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, you can just fall into a hole and...
Now, being a child, he could have become disoriented or fall out of sight, and by the size of the search and the blank end result, elevated the case into something more uncanny than a simple misadventure. So he's still missing. They don't know what the hell happened to him. It's just one, like, turn around, your kid's there, next thing you know, he's not. Poof, like he just disappeared.
Damn.
Yeah.
There's no telling, dude.
Father's Day weekend. Shitty deal.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
that's insane.
yeah, it's 1969. Yeah, I believe, yeah. 1969, yeah.
That's that poor kid, that poor family.
Then you got Holly Bobo.
Holly Bobo.
April 13th, 2011.
I remember this one.
Darden, Parsons area. Decatur County.
That's Georgia.
Holly Lynn Bobo was a 20-year-old nursing student who disappeared from near her family's home on April 13th, 2011. Case was a national story. Early reports described Holly walking into the woods near her home, seen by family. Later, her partial remains were discovered in 2014 by ginseng hunters in northern Decatur County.
Ginseng.
Yeah, people going out and hunting for...
Oh, yeah.
Her death was ruled as a homicide. Several men have been arrested and prosecuted in connection with her murder. One man, Zachary Adams, was convicted in 2017 and sentenced to life plus 50 years. The case was notable for its length, the continuousness of the trials, and the way the witnesses' testimony and later reenactions or reincantations kept the story in the headlines for years. News organizations and court records document the case's twists with the partial, complicated closure it brought to her family. Holly Bobo's disappearance is a darker flavor of the region's vanishings. This was not a case of getting lost in the forest, but a violent abduction and then her ultimate demise, her schmurder. Since it's
Her
on
unalivement.
Since it's on YouTube, we'll call this a schmurder.
I think that might even be too close.
You know, well, it should. It might. I don't know.
Bobby
Anyway.
Schmurda.
An explicit human cruelty hidden in a place that otherwise evokes pastoral images. It's a reminder that some vanishings here are not wilderness accidents at all, but human crimes committed in rural places where, you know, policing and witnesses and all that can be thin. So they basically marked her and then took her out in the woods, because that's the Appalachian Mountains.
Yep.
It's like thump thump, and there you go.
People get mauled by bears.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a real thing.
Then you get the case of Summer Wells, June 15th, 2021. Notice how they're all around the same kind of month or time frame. It's kind of weird. Beach Creek, Hawkins County. Summer Wells was 5 years old when she vanished from her home in a quiet lane in Hawkins County on June 15th, 2021. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation described the case as one of the most exhaustive they've handled. Number and endangered child alerts, thousands of tips, large volunteer searches, canine units. They even had dive teams, drone and aerial searches, and as of multiple news updates, no definitive resolution or answer. The case has become a modern digital age cold case. Now, social media, sleuths, and theories, intermittent, updates that kept the public both hopeful and frustrated. The TBI and local authorities continue to treat the case as active. It's pretty much,
Yeah.
another cold case, pretty much. Summer's disappearance shows that the modern face of unresolved rural vanishings, even with 21st century forensics, cellular data.
I mean, that was just a handful of years ago. It's 2021.
Yeah, someone can be erased from a place that seems familiar to everyone who lives there.
Gone. Jinx.
Yeah, see you later. Bye now.
Yeah. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Is that the last person?
Well, I got another one here. This is from this was resolved in 2021. And you also got, like I said, there's this thing called the Wampus Cat that I was wanting to touch on.
Oh, the Wampus Cat.
Of course, there's also other stranger things that are out there, such as Bigfoot, black-eyed children.
I thought you were going to say black-eyed peas. I was like, damn, I didn't know Fergie lived out there.
No, there's all sorts of cryptids that live out there. You got Dogman that lives out there. Of course, Bigfoot. Of course, here, he's not known as Bigfoot. Here, he's known as the Tennessee Wild Man. That's what Tennessee...
Oh, yeah, I've heard of him.
That's what Tennesseans call the Bigfoot, is the Tennessee
Wild Man. I was going to say, there's other shit I've heard.
There's just as many sightings here of the Tennessee Wild Man, a.k.a. Bigfoot. There's just as many sightings here in the Appalachian Mountains as, like, out northwest, like Washington State, Oregon. Like, it's a high concentration. So either they migrate or there's a different, like, subspecies.
Yeah.
There may be one that's like a northwestern, because up there is more rainforest.
Yeah.
Here it's a little different forest. You know what I mean? But anyways, that's just a theory that people think. There's also this thing I would like to just talk about for a minute called the Wampus Cat. And it's basically, it's rooted in East Tennessee. With roots in Cherokee and Appalachian folktales, the Wampus Cat is described variously as a woman cougar creature. Glowing-eyed panther.
I picked one of them up at the bar before.
Or
Woman
a
cougar creature?
Yeah, or a supernatural guardian.
She can suck my soul out of me, that's for sure. She's like, you want a dance? You ain't never had a gummy.
Accounts vary, but in East Tennessee, the Wampus Cat is often invoked to explain mutilated livestock found at dawn or strange cries in the night, while modern science attributes many animal sightings to misidentified bobcats, cougars, or feral dogs.
You ever heard a fucking bobcat or a cougar out in the woods, though? That shit is terrifying.
Yeah. The presence of the Wampus Cat story is the region's way of naming an instinctive fear and an explanation when the night returns with something you cannot name. Sources that chronicle American folklore discuss the Wampus Cat's Cherokee and its migration into regional legend. So you got this thing like roaming around out there. It's supposed to be like Indian legend. It's one of those strange, weird cryptids.
Yeah.
That's out there in the thick of it.
Damn.
But yeah, you got, of course, dogmen. You know
what kind of the Wampus Cat, that kind of tracks with like the wildlife in this area dating back millions of years, because I don't know if you know this, when they broke ground on Bridgestone Arena, what is now known as Bridgestone Arena, back when it was Gaylord, when it first opened, when they broke ground on that building, they found a saber-toothed tiger skeleton.
Oh shit.
And that's why the Nashville Predators mascot is a saber-toothed tiger. So there's always been big cats in this area.
I never knew that.
So, yeah, that's a little fun fact about Nashville. So,
yeah,
that's crazy, dude. Appalachia is full of mystery and wonder and beauty all at the same time.
That's what I brought today. The strange tales of the Appalachian Mountains.
It is fucking crazy. My main subject today is, I'm gonna try to keep it short, but I got to start with a couple of things. So as I mentioned earlier, I was in the hospital. Well, I think during this whole episode, I may have tapped into the Matrix. So I went to the hospital Monday morning. I went to the ER, and by a little after lunch Monday, or around lunch Monday, I was in a different hospital.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, we're going to give you antibiotics and you have to be like on a clear liquid diet for like 12 hours and then 12 more hours. It was 48 hours of antibiotics they had to give.
'Cause I remember you're like, bro, I'm in the hospital.
Yeah, that shit sucked. So every time I had to be stuck with a needle. Every time. This is at 2 different hospitals.
Wow.
The nurse, the phlebotomist, doctor, whomever, excuse me, all said the same thing. Big stick. Every one of them. Same cadence, same way, every time. I get out of the hospital Wednesday. Thursday, I'm fine. Friday, I kind of psych myself out, think I'm getting sick and that I need to go to the hospital. The youngin' is asleep, so the wife calls paramedic, right? Ambulance shows up at the house. The paramedic in the ambulance says the same thing. Big stick. He's trying to run an IV on the way to the hospital. I mentioned to him, I was like, everyone has said it the same way. It seems like some corporate line or something. Every person has said it the same exact way. Same way. You know, I was like, y'all got to change that shit up. I get to the hospital that night and I never hear it again. And now every nurse and phlebotomist and doctor, because I had to have MRI and or not an MRI, CAT scan, all that shit, or CT scan. So every one of them went 1, 2, 3, and it was the same fucking cadence.
So it's like,
and it was every one of them changed it.
1, 2, 3.
No, I never heard big stick. I never heard it again.
Then you hear Mr.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's like, what the fuck?
1, 2,
you know,
3.
like, is this the Truman Show?
Mr. Anderson.
Like, what the like? There has to be something going on there that's so fucking weird that happened like that.
That is kind of weird.
You know, it does not make sense. And you know that kind of shit happens to me so fucking often.
Especially the synchronicities of it, like you know what I mean.
There's 2 podcasts that I listen to, and for some reason within like a week of each other, and these podcasts, one is a true crime podcast held by a friend of mine, Kent Chungus. It's called True Crime Kent. I've mentioned it before. If you don't listen to it, you should.
Yeah.
And they were talking about derringers. They went into a long fucking conversation about derringers. Well, like 2 weeks later, the Dungeons and Dragons podcast that I listened to, that I've listened to since August of 2020, or I've been a Patreon subscriber since August of 2020. I found them in December of 2019. Within their first episode. It's called Dungeons and Daddies. It tickles me in a way that very few things tickle me. There's odd, obscure 90s references because they're all about the same age as me.
Yeah.
So it hits me in a place that not very many things do. So they ended up talking about derringers too, like in the same way. Not like I don't know, it's just fucking weird. And then like there's one time I was at the river with some friends. We used to take this trip out to Missouri every year. And I'm talking to my friend Aaron Hart. Hi Aaron, I know you're listening. And I remember asking, I wonder if you can pull a little camper and then a boat right behind it, you know, in tandem trailers with a regular vehicle. And I swear to God, no sooner than we were talking about it, around the corner comes a fucking SUV pulling a pop-up camper and a little john boat behind it.
Yeah.
It might even have been a fucking minivan, but still, it was like, bam, we talked about it and it fucking happened.
What's the odds of it's some like weird synchronicity type shit.
Yeah, you know, and I think part of this comes back to like my crazy Henry luck that I have sometimes, you know?
The Chenry luck.
And then there's like synchronicity that I end up having with people sometimes. It happens with my cousin Lee. Now I spend a lot of time around Lee. You know, we've been friends since fucking childhood. They say some of your first friends are your cousins.
Yeah.
You know, me and Lee have been tight since, since both of us were in like fucking elementary or middle school. So, but like there's been a couple of times, like one time we're in the truck with my brother and it's completely quiet in the truck, and then we drive by this road, Panama, and at the exact same time on fucking cue, both of us break into the song Panama by Van Halen. like in sync. Like it was fucking crazy.
That is pretty crazy.
I had something like that happen with a guitar player friend of mine, Tuck, when I was in the band Lechuga, where there was a train that went by, and both of us just like, train, take me on out of this town. Like both of us, dude, and it was just crazy.
Yeah.
You know? So it's a lot of, I don't know, I think I'm starting to tap into the Matrix a little bit. I'm gonna knock on wood because, you know, Chenry luck can be fucked. You gotta be careful. Oh no, I fucked up the Afghan.
That's all right. Doodles fucks this up every day on purpose.
Knock on that wood too. That one in my lap. Yeah, it's just crazy how sometimes this weird tappable thing, it's, I don't know, it's hard to explain.
That's crazy.
Now, that kind of ties into my subject today, and gravity. Grab my shit. Again, we are unprepared and slackers, so tis what it is. Sorry. There we go. Sorry, guys. I'll edit this part out. I was on a roll, and then I just fucking froze up because I'm a dumb bitch.
That's all good, man.
Open Windows computer. Open. Just let me put my fucking password in.
Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties.
He'll edit it out.
Ties in. So my subject that I brought today kind of ties into that, all that crazy stuff, and then there's a little side note I have with that, a little relatively current events, because you know I've been throwing a little current events in. So apparently, the guy that owns Hobby Lobby, and dear listener, I'm encouraging you to look into this because this is some crazy crooked shit. He apparently has been caught more than once with stolen antiquities like
what?
Clay cuneiform tablets of the Epic of Gilgamesh, crazy bootleg like forgeries of Dead Sea Scrolls. Also, Hobby Lobby, if you see like a stack of something that you like, or like something's on a shelf 3 deep, pull the one in the front, look at the price, and then pull the one in the back and look at the price, and the prices will be different.
Wow.
Yeah, they lower the prices the farther back. But anyway, that's beside the point. So this guy gets caught with these fucking antiquities all the time. And the only punishment that is given to him is he gets a fine, which is not very steep at all. And then he has to like turn the stuff over to a museum, right?
Yeah.
Now you think, oh, you know, Museum of Natural History and the British Museum and the Louvre and all this other shit.
Smithsonian.
No. This motherfucker owns a museum, and it's like the Bible Museum of America or some shit like that. And it's located in Washington, D.C. And he just gives it to himself and writes it off on his fucking taxes. Yeah. How is this allowed? How is this not illegal?
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, dude. It's like having 2 dicks.
Yeah.
And being able to bang 2 chicks at the same time. You know? It's not fair to anyone, you know? It's just, why is that loophole available?
That's
you know,
crazy.
You shouldn't be able to fucking double dip like that. Because you know he's writing that shit off on his taxes. Well, my museum also wrote off twice as much what I had to pay in fines.
So no wonder Hobby Lobby's like thriving.
Yeah, dude. That's why they're one of the few brick and mortar spots still fucking...
Wow.
Yeah.
And it like went tits up, I think.
Yeah.
What's the other one? There's like another one that went tits up.
Michael's.
Michael's. A lot of that shit you can buy offline now.
Yeah. Ross, like, outlet stores and shit are still okay because you can get shit cheaper there than you can online.
Yeah.
And it's all name brand shit. Might be last year's shit, but who cares? If you can get a brand new set of fucking Pumas for $35.
Yeah, but ever since, Amazon and shit, a lot of stuff, brick and mortar, they're all, shutting doors and shit.
Turn my mouse off. Again, unprepared. All right, so back to my subject. As you know, the newest season of Stranger Things has started, and this kind of ties into that, as well as the whole third eye crazy bullshit. Remote viewing. Now, for those of you who don't know, remote viewing is the practice of perceiving information about a distant or unseen target through mental impressions, a concept often linked with psychic abilities. While studied by government agencies like the CIA, it is widely considered to be a pseudoscience with no scientific evidence to support its claims. Wink, wink. Experiments involve a viewer providing detailed impressions of a hidden target with feedback provided at the end to confirm success. Physicists Russell Targ and Harold Howe Putoff are psychology researchers at Stanford, or the Stanford Research Institute, SRI. They're generally credited with coining the term remote viewing to distinguish it from clairvoyance. Because clairvoyance is kind of like talking to dead people, you know, like a medium. According to Targ, the term was suggested by Ingo Swann in December of 71. So that's where it come from. That's how it got named remote viewing.
Yeah.
This really got national attention again. Like, it came back up in the 90s when the declassification of documents related to the Stargate project, a $20 million research program sponsored by the government during the from 1975 to 1995.
Oh.
And now they say that it ended because remote viewers were consistently failed to produce actionable intelligence information, which is bullshit. As you guys know, I love the tinfoil hat shit, so, you know, I'm just going to break down, like, the facts, but we all know there's shit happening that they ain't telling us about with this shit. The whole of the world's governments have been infatuated since Hitler about the, like, crazy paranormal shit and shit like that. Now, early occult and spiritualist literature, they mention this kind of thing. They call it telethesia. Telethesia, like telephone. Telethesia. Telepathy. Telethesia. And they also call it traveling clairvoyance, you know, out-of-body travels. Now,
yeah, it's like, I forget what it's called now. Whenever you like meditate and you it's on the tip of my tongue.
Astral
projection, yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's very akin to that.
It's like they astral project and they move to where, like, this target is they want them to look at, and they see it, but they see it with their astral projection, and then they, like, follow their cord back to where they're at, and then they, like, tell them, like, oh, it's here, it's got this mountain range, it's located at this latitude, this longitude, and, like, it's like boom, 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 like everything.
Yeah,
shit's crazy. It's crazy when you know you got our own government using this.
Yeah, oh yeah. Now, this shit started in the mid-19th century with early researchers like Michael Faraday, Alfred Russel Wallace, Rufus Osgood Mason, and William Crookes. Their work predominantly involved carrying out focus experiments on individuals thought to be psychically gifted. So, you know, anybody they felt... But this is the 19th century, so the 1800s. Yeah. You know, so it is what it is. Everybody was hella superstitious. Oh, yeah. You know, there's always the possibility that magic just died out with the coming of man, you know? Yeah. Or what I like to call the Middle Earth theory. Yeah. By the 30s...
It could have, I don't mean to interrupt, but...
No, you're good.
It could have been like the whole theory behind... like why unicorns and dragons and shit didn't make it on the boat.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough room and shit.
Yeah.
You ever see that? There's a meme where it's like they're on the island and like the rest of the animals are all waving.
Yeah.
And like, they're like the only animals left that are on the Noah's Ark.
Yeah.
It's like the unicorn, the dragon, like all these other fucking weird animals and shit. Oh, my bad. I mean,
no, you're good. You're good. In the 30s, a man by the name of J.B. Rhine, 1930s, that is, expanded the study of paranormal performance into larger populations by using standard experimental procedures of the time, unselected human subjects. But as with earlier studies, Ryan was reluctant to publicize his work too early because of criticism, you know, because like people are like, no, this is bullshit. You know, the academics who like Zahi Hawass, the Egyptologist, the guy who's like over all of the Egypt shit, he just like refuses to believe anything new. And, you know, they cut the fucking stones of the pyramids with rock tools. Garbage. You know, there's no way they could have completed what they completed in the time that they completed it with that kind of technology.
I still think it's Masonic.
I think the Egyptians found the pyramids. I don't think they built the pyramids. I think they were there before the Egyptians.
I think whoever carved them used frequencies.
Yeah, and then there's the whole thing about how like the Sahara Desert was a lush Greenland, and over the course of like 2.5 centuries, it was turned to sand. Like it was a real short amount of time for that much ecological change. So anyway, that's a rabbit hole for another day. So it remained this paranormal studies and remote viewing remained a fringe area. However, by the 60s, the prevailing counterculture were sympathetic to the paranormal ideas, and that is when the new age thinking and the popularity of human potential movement provoked a mini renaissance that renewed public interest in consciousness studies and psychic phenomena. It also helped to make financial support more available for research into such topics. By the early 70s, Puthoff and Targ joined the Electronics and Bioengineering Laboratory, and that's where they initiated the study. Now, in the late 70s, physicist John Taylor, Eduardo Balanovsky tested the psychic Matthew Manning in remote viewing, and the results proved quote-unquote completely unsuccessful. So they said that nothing happened out of that. One of the early experiments, lauded by proponents as having improved the methodology of remote viewing testing and raising future experimental standards, was criticized as leaking information to the participant by inadvertently leaving clues. Some later experiments had negative results when these clues were eliminated. The viewer's advice in the Stargate project was always so unclear and non-detailed that it had never been used in any intelligence operation, as they say. Yeah. So in the early 90s, the Military Intelligence Board, chaired by Defense Intelligence Agency Chief Harry Soyster, appointed Army Colonel William Johnson to manage the remote viewing unit and evaluate its objective usefulness. The funding dissipated in late 94 and the program declined, and the project was transferred from the DIA to the CIA in 95. In 95, the CIA hired the American Institute for Research to perform a retrospective evaluation. Let's look back on all the fucking stats and everything. Let's double check these numbers and blah, blah. So they reevaluated all of the Stargate project shit. It was a man named Ray Hyman and a lady named Jessica Utz, UTTS. Now, Utz maintained that there had been a statistically significant positive effect, with some subjects scoring in the 5 to 15% above chance.
Wow.
Now, Hyman argued that Utz's conclusions that ESP had been providing to exist is premature, to say the least. Hyman said the findings had yet to be replicated independently, and that more investigation would be necessary to, quote, legitimately claim the existence of paranormal functioning. Now, based on their studies, which recommended a higher level of critical research and tighter controls, the CIA said that's enough, and Time magazine reported on it in 95 that 3 full-time psychics were still working on a $500,000 a year budget at Fort Meade in Maryland, which would soon be closed.
No.
Yeah. The American Institute for Research report concluded that no usable intelligence data was produced in the program at all. David Gosselin of the American Institute for Research said there's no documented evidence that it had any value. So, now in the 70s, Princeton Engineering Anomalies Research Lab, or PAIR as it's known, carried out extensive research on remote viewing. So this is like a whole other group doing this around the same time. Between the late 70s and 89, so over about a 10 or 12 year period, it conducted 336 formal trials, reporting a composite Z-score of 6.355, with a corresponding D value of 1.04 times 10 to the negative 10th. So they critiqued these results, and the AIR group, they looked over these results as well, because they were looking over all of it when they were checking this shit out. Is it viable? The remote viewing department, or that group, concluded that the remote viewing experiments depart from commonly accepted criteria as for formal research in science. In fact, They are undoubtedly some of the poorest quality ESP experiments published in many years. None of the stated complaints compromise the pair experimental program or analytical methods. The pair, they clapped back and was like, no, like, our methods are legit, fuck you, and reaffirmed their shit.
Well, yeah, not to mention the CIA, like, took over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, they ran some of these experiments again, like, all right, we're going to do it with a different person.
If it's important enough for the CIA to look into it and still use it today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's kind of crazy.
They finally released their report in 96. Like I said, it's a fucking pseudoscience. They've not been able to really replicate it through private study.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of stories where they've actually found people.
Oh, yeah.
Solve, like, create, like, murders and cases and shit.
I'll get to that.
Using remote viewing.
Yeah. Now, the psychologists that study this, David Marks and Richard Common, accepted to replicate Targan Puthoff's remote viewing experiments that were carried out in the 70s. They did 35 studies, and they could not replicate the results. So they investigated the procedure of the original experiments. Marks and Common discovered that the notes given to the judges in Targan Puthoff's experiments contained clues as to which order they were carried out, such as referring to yesterday's two targets or having the session data written at the top of the page. They concluded that these clues were the reasons for the experiment's high hit rate. So it was like they were giving them notes. Now, for those of you who don't know exactly what the Stargate project is, basically Project Stargate, or the Stargate project, was Gondola Wish, Stargate, Grill Flame, Center Lane, Project CF, Sunstreak, and Scant, SCANATE. They were all consolidated to make this. So they took it was so the Stargate project wasn't just remote viewing. All these little agencies had, you're doing remote viewing, and you're doing talking to the dead, and you're doing different occult shit. They put everything together and made it the Stargate project. They just put it under one umbrella. Also, Stargate SG-1, fantastic show.
So anything paranormal related with studies, they put it as a Stargate project.
Now, everybody, there is the claims that, I wonder if I can just play this through here. If you want me to send it to you. There's a video that I found, audio. I'll have Sean put it here. Yeah. We're going to cut this audio out that I'm going to play it, but I'm going to play this clip for you and me so we can time it, you know? But it goes a little something like this, and this is, you can find this on YouTube. That's where I found it. It is former President Jimmy Carter. Take it away, Jimmy.
Plane had crashed, and we were not able to find it by surveillance from our satellites. So the director of the CIA, he was also director of all the intelligence agencies, heard about a woman in California that was a medium. And he contacted her, and she gave him the latitude and longitude of the plane's whereabouts. And the next time one of our space satellites went over that area, we located the plane where she said it was.
That's President Carter.
Yeah. So don't tell me shit ain't real. Now, it could have been luck, but
yeah,
I mean, the chances of it, that much luck, you know, like it's so crazy. And that brings me back to the very beginning and touching into the Matrix. We've gone all the way around like a fucking donut, like this goddamn ring light at my 12 o'clock. You know, it's fucking crazy. I think some people can tap into a stream of consciousness that kind of connects things. Some people can't.
That's like Mom. I think that's why Mom's like, shout out to Mom, Joanne, who's in her Wicked Paranormal Team videos. She's very sensitive, and there's a time where she got whiplash. Of course, she's probably nodding right now like, oh yeah, I know what story he's going to talk about. There's one time where she got a whiplash while she was in a vehicle, And after that, she started having these weird premonitions. I don't know if you know what premonitions are.
Yeah.
But they're dreams that
Tell the future.
tell the future
Yes.
and actually happen.
Yeah.
And she freaked a bunch of people out. This has been a long time ago before she retired. She's working Intel, and she told a bunch of people in the office, and they're like, oh, yeah, whatever, you know, woo, woo, woo. And then, like, 2 weeks later...
She was supposed to be in the office on 9/11 and called out that day?
No. She had a dream about a plane crash, and, like, it was over, I forget how it goes. She's probably going to butcher the shit out of me, but it was over, I think, in Australia. Anyways, it was she told me it was like she could picture it vividly, like she was there on the plane as it's going down, like smoke. She could, like, everything, smells.
It's crazy.
Everything, like sound, smells.
Yeah.
Weird shit. And she knows it was like going over the water. She remembered the sunset, and she like almost like astral projection, where she was like going out of the plane. She could like see the numbers, so she knew what number the plane was, what direction it was going, how many people were on it, all this weird like data that you would normally know. And then like 2 weeks later, boom, plane crash. The same fucking plane number. This many people died. All the numbers are like,
it's fucking wild.
Like on point. You know what I mean? And it was all because she had like a whiplash in this fucking crash she had.
Have you ever seen that movie Knowing with Nicolas Cage? It has to do with,
think
like,
I've heard
they
of it,
pull
but
like a thing
I
out of a
watched it.
time capsule, and it's like numbers, and all the numbers match up, and blah blah blah, and there's like everything's a date. And like he witnesses shit in these places. It's fucking crazy. It's a crazy. The ending is not great.
Well, she freaked a bunch of people out at work because she was telling people like, "Oh, this is gonna happen. I guarantee it." You know, blah 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 blah. And people are like, "Oh yeah, whatever." You know, woo woo woo. And then it was in the fucking paper, and people were like, she said she went to work, and people were looking at her like, like she was like some gypsy or some shit. Like she was telling the future and shit. This shit crazy though, man.
Yeah, dude. It's so fucking weird. It ain't.
So me,
I've covered something similar before when I talked about the telepathy tapes.
Yeah.
Very early on in the show.
I totally believe in that type of like psychic.
Oh yeah,
shit.
it's
because we only use like a percentage of our brain. You know.
Well, I don't think that's true. I think that's been scientifically disproven. But nonetheless, like it's something. I always believe in proof and evidence. Coincidences happen, but it's like sometimes the rate at which they happen, shit ain't a coincidence. Shit's happening. Like you can put positivity out there in the universe and it come back to you.
What's like
I have that a lot, but
like,
I also do repetitive, mundane tasks.
Going back to the
sometimes,
Matrix, because I'm a big fan of the Matrix. How it's like, they had to rewrite the code, and that's where deja vu comes in, because they had to like do patchwork.
I think deja vu is you're seeing something, a variance of an alternate dimension.
I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, you're connected to yourself on the same wavelength,
Yeah.
And it's like they kind of, the alternate dimensions aren't stacked. They actually like
So it's
they
kind of like
rotate each other, they orbit each other like two stars would together. And sometimes they're closer and sometimes they're farther apart.
it's kind of like the backroom theory, where it's like you don't necessarily no clip, but you kind of like see a path to no clip.
Yeah. I think that's deja vu. Also, I saw a theory the other day that like humans created the machine cities because they wiped out all the resources on Earth. And they created the machine cities to be the caretakers of the physical bodies that were humanity, because their consciousness could not exist without a physical body.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like your physical body,
Well,
or like your consciousness dies in the Matrix and you die.
It's all the simulation theory. They say we're like 50%. Even Neil deGrasse, I think Neil deGrasse explained it the best. He was like, okay, you take a high civilization of being, they create a simulation, okay, and then that being in there creates another simulation, and it keeps on repeating and repeating and repeating itself.
Yeah.
And then you do this in a whole galaxy. Okay, then you step back and you throw a dart. Now, what's the odds of you actually hitting a simulation or the original?
You never know.
That's what I'm saying. It's like a 50-50.
Yeah, it's so deep.
It's a 50-50.
Well, it's like the entire universe exists in the heart of an atom, at the bottom of a drop of dew on a piece of grass, and all the atoms of the universe, if you magnify them far enough, you're just going to find other universes.
Yeah, it's
and the
kinda
same
like,
thing if you zoom out, so
it always reminds me of like the end of Men in Black, the first one.
Yeah.
Where it
That was the
zooms-
second one.
Or the second one was
When they open the locker.
No. I think no, not that. But the first at the ending of the
Uh-huh.
movie, where the aliens are playing marbles.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
it's actually like
The galaxies on Orion's belt. Yeah.
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that could be us.
Yeah.
There's no way to
Yeah.
tell.
That's what
There's no way for us to know. So
yeah.
it's awesome to theorize it, because really, when you think about it, we're just specks of dust wearing a meat suit, traveling at fucking 300 million miles an hour through space.
And our whole galaxy could be
Yeah.
literally on a cat's bell right now.
Yeah. Like the next time, coming back to your shit, next time you look at a mountain, think about how big a mountain is. Now think about the size of the Earth. You are to that mountain what that mountain is to the planet. And then now think about our planet. You are to the planet what our planet is to our sun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now think about our sun. Our sun is to our solar system what you are to the sun.
And there's also bigger suns out there.
Yeah.
Our suns,
There's suns the size of our entire solar.
yeah, our sun's actually pretty small
Yeah.
compared to some
Yeah.
others.
We're getting off in the weeds here.
Yeah, but
Yeah. And I've been on a huge Star Trek kick all of 2025. I've been just hammering some Star Trek. We actually, before we hit record, we had like a 30-minute talk about fucking Star Trek. So that may be the next episode
we're like,
cover.
it's like the D&D nerds were like, actually, on page 151 of the player's handbook.
Yeah. I shaved it, but my neck beard is coming in strong. It's happening. I'll have a fedora next week. I'll tip that motherfucker so hard it's fucking rocking dimensions. It's gonna tip the fucking balance of good and evil. But yeah, that's my subject. Talking about the expanse of the universe, just the expanse of the human mind. If you think about how much we don't know about the universe, there's still so much that we don't know about our own consciousness or even the planet that we live on. Fucking 80% of the Earth's oceans.
They should do experiment. I mean, they probably are. Who knows? It's the government.
Unlooked at or whatever.
So we already did with they did the experiments back then.
Yeah.
Shout out to the old,
which kind of comes into the
first
Stargate
episode.
project too, because they fucking, that's one of the things they tried that got put under the umbrella.
Yeah,
was some of the MK Ultra shit.
Shout out to episode 1, season 2.
Yeah,
but anyways, they should introduce DMT to these, remote viewers.
Yeah, DMT is fucking wild,
and see what that does.
Yeah, the stories on DMT are fucking wild.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've never done that I've always wanted.
I was watching. I don't mean to get off in the weeds again here, but I was watching.
Sure I can though.
I was watching this. Since you're talking about the Matrix, I was watching this YouTube video. I forget the guy who's studying it. He's like studying it, and he's not studying to like prove the facts. He's just studying it because he's trying to figure out for him fucking self, like what did I see? But he takes DMT, and when he takes DMT, he like looks at lasers. And he swears up and down, the first time you may not see it, but he's like got studies now to where at least 6 out of 10 people will see it on the first time, and usually 2 out of 3 people will see it on the second time.
Damn.
So he's got it to where it's like, but it's there. It's just stagnant.
By the third time, 10 out of 10.
It's just
9 or 10 out of 10.
It's always there. It's just stagnant.
Yeah.
But you can only see it if you're on DMT. And like, of course, he smokes it. He goes in there. And he looks at lasers, like, just like leveling lasers, like for construction.
Yeah.
And there's different colors, and different colors will have different spectrums. But he looks at it, and he says you see code, like matrix code. And it does like weird patterns, and it does like, you can see weird shit.
That is crazy.
Just looking at lasers.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
you don't look in the laser, but you look.
yeah.
You have a shot.
You look through the laser.
Yeah, you have it shining on the wall, and
Yeah.
then you go up and you look at it real closely.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking wild. I've heard a lot of stories about DMT, but it's like I don't know if I can take DMT because I can't take acid ever again.
Yeah.
You know, because I've taken so much acid
I feel you.
in my lifetime that I feel like any acid trip I take would be my last one. You know what I'm saying? Like I would be gone for good. So I just try not to take acid anymore.
It's
I
Wonderland.
haven't touched it in years.
Rabbit hole for good.
All right. Well, I guess that concludes our episode. Oh God, Jesus Christ on a cracker. I don't know where I put my smacker.
Anywho, folks, yeah,
Check us out.
yeah, make sure to check us out.
Socials, like, subscribe.
Yeah, we got merch.
Tell us to fuck off.
Of course, I got a new commercial here at the end of this one.
Yeah.
2 viewers. Shit, the fucking shit up in the studio.
Cut that. We're gonna cut that.
Cut. Well, I'll let y'all later.